Hey y'all, what's up? It's Chelsea. Today is a longly awaited video. I've gotten tons of requests on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube to do a How I Study the Bible video. And if you guys don't really care about this video or it doesn't pertain to you, if you're just gonna comment a hateful comment about this type of video, then just don't even watch it, please, because this is just for solely the people who asked for it and who actually want to see this video. I wanted to show you guys just some tips and tricks for how I stay diligent about reading the Bible. So if you're curious, keep on watching. Let's get into the video. So for studying the Bible video, we probably need a Bible, and I highly recommend a journal. You can buy any sort of journal at a bookstore, Walmart, Target. The type of Bible that I have is the Life Application Study Bible in the NLT version, which is New Living Translation, and it's a red letter Bible, which means all the words that were spoken by Jesus in the New Testament are written in red, which is very helpful when you're studying the Bible, and it's very nice just to have. So tips for studying the Bible and how I read and everything. I typically read whenever I have free time, and usually that's at the end of the day, like when I'm done just working on YouTube stuff and everything. Usually every day, Monday through Friday, I wake up around 9 o'clock, 10, and I work until like 5 or 6, and I'll just do different various things, and this is pretty much just during the summer. During the school year, I tried to do it every single night, like after I did my homework. I always put my homework first just because I knew that I would actually do my homework if I had the motivation to actually read. So I know that's a weird way of thinking of it, because you're usually like, okay, you need to put the Bible first. And in a way I am, because otherwise my homework wouldn't get done if I didn't have the motivation of just being able to read this after I was finished. The way that I do it just makes it kind of fun, and it makes me look forward to the next time that I read. If you're just now diving into the Bible, or you want to have a new place to start, I definitely recommend just the New Testament, which is pretty much the second half of the Bible, and it's when Jesus has walked on the earth and how he set his example for us and how we should live. And I'm not saying that the Old Testament is not good to read. I'm just saying if you're starting out or you want a new place to start, I would definitely start in the New Testament. I just got finished reading 2 Timothy, which is a really short chapter, but pretty much how I break down reading is just taking each book of the Bible. I'll set in stone like a week to a month for reading a certain book of the Bible. There's 66 books in the Bible, and I like to break it down as slow as I can just because I want to retain what I read. I don't like just speedy reading. I really like to take it slow, especially since I'm not that great of a reader. For example, for 2 Timothy, I went ahead and wrote down certain key verses that really stuck out to me. That's what I tend to do for almost every single thing that I read. I just like to rewrite like what is speaking to me and what verse just really pops out at me. A lot of people like to highlight certain verses in the Bible. I highly recommend just going ahead and writing them down, because that actually helps me retain the information even better. If you are highlighting and that is good enough for you, it's good to just like go through the Bible, and if you're like learning something in church and you already have that highlighted, you're like, oh wow, like I've already read this and something about it must have like stuck out to me. But I just write them down in this journal, and then I also underneath it usually write kind of what I interpret it as in my head, like how I'm thinking about it, because usually everyone has a different take on what the Bible's saying, but usually the Bible's pretty literal and it means what it says, and sometimes it can be kind of poetic, especially in like the Psalms where there's lots of prayers and everything. But yeah, that's just one thing that I like to do. And I also, in order to keep myself diligent about reading it over and over again, is the fact that I actually have a platform to share it. You guys actually keep me diligent in a way, because on Twitter I just like to send out a verse whenever I've done a study. A few nights ago I was reading 2 Timothy and something really stuck out to me, and so I put part of the verse on Twitter, and just the fact that I have that to kind of keep me accountable, to keep kind of reading. It's really helpful, and I encourage you guys, if you have a social media platform, or even if you only have like a few followers, tweeting a verse after you read can almost like keep you accountable. And if you notice that you hadn't tweeted that night, or you realize that like the next day you're gonna be like, okay, I need to get back on it, how do I make this more fun, or how do I, you know, want to keep reading? Sometimes it's just hard for us as humans to fully understand. That's kind of what I'm trying to say, is some things we are never going to understand. Like Revelation in the Bible is so crazy. Like, I haven't even totally just gone through and read that yet, because I want to do that with like a study group or someone who's very knowledgeable about that certain book. And I know there's certain people out there who have spent their entire life just breaking down that one book, because it is so important. It's the last book of the Bible, and it has a lot of like future things for what's going to happen in the world, and we're already kind of starting to see it unfold in our world, which is really crazy. Like, it's scary, crazy, and just weird, and people just still don't believe in the Bible, even though you can see it unfolding. My favorite book of the Bible is Proverbs. It is the book of wisdom, and it is so quotable. Like, if you want to take a day and each day read just a chapter of Proverbs, just break it down for yourself and write certain things that stick out to you, or maybe even the whole chapter. Just try to memorize certain parts of it, just so it is like you're speaking truth into your head and you're memorizing that, and that's usually going to reflect into your day and your everyday life and how you live, and it's usually going to reflect into how you like speak and act towards others, and how you treat them, and how you give love to others. And it's just going to be really helpful if you are writing down what you're reading. There's something about just truth and writing it down and actually wanting to know what it's trying to say and speak to your life. And so I recommend Proverbs and any of the New Testament to start off with, and just go book by book and break it down to your own ability. If you're a slow reader, then just start off with like a really small chapter, like Ephesians. Just break that down within a week or a month, and you can just start seeing different qualities in each book and what it's trying to teach you. Like with Proverbs, it teaches wisdom, and Ephesians, it teaches love and patience and understanding. So I recommend starting in the New Testament, breaking down a book in a certain amount of time for yourself and for your speed, and writing down certain verses that stick out to you. Post on social media, because then your life is going to start reflecting the word, and it's really encouraging to see other believers out there just posting about the truth. And so do all those things, and those are kind of like my tips. And set aside a time of day that you know works for you. If you are a super busy person and you're constantly working, I understand that you're going to be tired and everything, but after you read, you're going to be like so thankful that you actually just took the time to do that. And if it has to be at night, do that. That's what I have to do. Just make a point to do it, because as I've grown up, I've grown up just around godly people in the church and everything, and now that I'm getting older, I have to make more of a point to actually like get my own butt to church and not be taken there, and not go to youth group because there's not youth group anymore. I'm going into college, and so I have to make more of an effort to actually build my own relationship with Christ without many people's help. And it is really important to have godly people in your life and people to encourage you, and you doing the same to others and pouring into other people. But there's going to become a time when you're growing up and you're not going to be forced to read the Bible, and you're not going to be forced to sing and praise and worship and all that. It's going to have to be on your own time, and it's going to have to be you making the effort to do it. And so that's kind of what I'm going through right now, and it's kind of exciting because it's taking on my own relationship with Him even more personally, because I have to. It's pretty much required. If I want to keep a strong relationship with Him, I have to do that on my own, and I don't have much help from just being brought up in it and having a booster seat, you know? So I hope this video encouraged you in some way, and just kind of helped you just see how you could do this on your own. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below, and leave me any more recommendations on videos on what to post, and anything pertaining to this, just comment them down below and give me a thumbs up if you like videos like these. I know quite a lot of people don't. They don't share the same faith as me, and a lot of people say that they don't like these types of videos, which is totally understandable, but this is kind of my purpose and what I'm passionate about, and so I'm going to keep posting about it. And I had gone through a certain amount of time where I was really doubting just posting this type of content because it doesn't get as many views and it doesn't get as many hits, and I lose subscribers from it, but that's okay. It's not about me, you know? So I love you guys, and if you want to encourage other people in the comments, that would be awesome. And I will see you in my next video. Deuces.